Democratic Senator Arlen Specter serves on the Appropriations Committee and joins us now from the Hill. Thanks so much, Senator. Good to talk to you. First of all, you have said that you don't think it's realistic that the U.S. is going to be out in 18 months. So you don't really see the exit strategy that you would like to see. You're not supporting the president on Afghanistan, at least on this new deployment. Is that a correct capsulization of your policy?
I oppose sending troops there unless it's indispensable in the war against al-Qaeda. If it is indispensable, we have to do whatever it takes because they're out to annihilate us. But when al-Qaeda can reorganize and operate out of Yemen or Somalia or other places, why fight in Afghanistan where so many have failed in the past? And when the president talks about leaving in the summer of 2011, that assumes that the Karzai government can take over and allow us to leave. But the Karzai government is not a reliable ally. Their legitimacy is questioned by vote fraud, a narcotics trade there, corruption at the highest levels of government. And when the president talks about being confident that our NATO allies will be helping us, we've asked for 10,000 troops, and they've come forward with about 500. So it looks like it's going to be the U.S. responsibility, Andrea.
Well, what they're expecting is that they will at least hit the goal of between 5,000 and 7,000 after Hillary Clinton is now winging her way to Brussels to the NATO meeting. The 500 was the additional troops from the UK, but that will bring the British component up to more than 10,000. So they say that per capita that they are doing their share. You're not satisfied?
Well, I do not think they are doing their share. With 30,000 more, we'll have in the range of 100,000 troops there. And there are other contributions, but nobody is coming forward. It always seems to work out that they leave it to the United States, and they do that because we are always willing to step in. And this time, I just don't think, listen, Iraq was a mistake. Had we known Saddam did not have weapons of mass destruction, we wouldn't have gone into Iraq. Vietnam is still a bitter memory. We're retracing historical mistakes, in my opinion, Andrea.
Let me play a little bit of the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, John Kerry, today. He's clearly not very enthusiastic about the new policy, but he does like the end date. Let's watch.
I think we learned in Iraq that when our policy is to be in another country with troops for, quote, as long as it takes, our hosts are very good at taking as long as they want. The president is correct to set a target. It will help create a sense of urgency, and for the Afghans who chafe at foreign boots on their soil, it sends a message that while America will remain committed to the Afghan people, we aren't interested in a permanent occupation.
So John Kerry at least likes the timeline of the transfer. You don't think that it goes far enough?
I do not think it is realistic. You do not have a government with Karzai which is reliable. Senator Levin has proposed having our trainers go in there and train Afghanistan troops, and I think that would be a good idea. But the president said in his speech that he wants to begin the withdrawal in the summer of 2011. Well, that is a long way from withdrawing. And it is a long way to have assurances that Afghanistan will be able to deliver. And listen, we need more from Pakistan. Recently, they've been doing a little more. I think we should direct our attention to trying to cool the tensions between India and Pakistan so Pakistan wouldn't have so many troops on the border with India. Let Pakistan fight the Taliban. We're really getting very deeply into the civil war in Afghanistan with the Taliban fighting the Karzai government, and I don't want to shed American blood or spend American dollars. And the deficit is very pressing now, Andrea. And the estimate is that every soldier costs $1 million a year. So 30,000 troops cost $30 billion. 100,000 troops there in total, that's $100 billion. And there's a lot of discomfort across America today with the deficit and the national debt.
this is certainly a bright line between you and your primary challenger, anticipated primary challenger, Joe Sestak, a retired Navy admiral. He is in favor of the surge and thinks that the withdrawal should not be presaged. So do you see this as a looming big issue in your primary election campaign?
Well, I'm not focused on the primary election. What I'm focused on is the casualties we've already had in Afghanistan and the fatalities and what we had in Iraq and whether it is calculated to be successful. Listen, I'm prepared to fight al-Qaeda. I'm prepared to do that, but I want to fight them in a context where there's a realistic chance of success. And there are too many ifs, ands, and buts on this whole proposition to satisfy me.